welcome and thank you so much for staying with us here on CNN News 18. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Grihatu Siddiqui. Now, politics in Karnataka has become downright poisonous, and there's good reason that I say this. On a day when Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge is being cornered by the ruling BJP for calling Prime Minister Narendra Modi quote-unquote a poisonous snake, a statement over which Kharge has expressed regret later as if in anticipation of this backlash. On that very day, Karnataka BJP leader Basangauda Patil Yatnal has driven headfirst into the raging name-calling controversy when he asked whether Congress leader Sonia Gandhi was what he's termed as Vish Kanya and also an agent of Pakistan and China. He even went out on to call Rahul Gandhi mad. And all this, oddly, while he was attacking AICC President Mallikarjun Kharge or his remarks about the Prime Minister. Now, while Kharge's statements and comments have attracted complaints being registered with both the State Election Commission and also the Election Commission of India, which was approached by a delegation by the BJP, urging the ECI to bar Kharge from campaigning in Karnataka and also to file an FIR against him. Remember, there is also an FIR that has been lodged by the Congress party against none other than the Union Home Minister Amit Shah for his comments at an election rally in Karnataka where he'd claimed that there will be riots in the state if Congress comes to power. Needless to say, the back and forth is endless. But what is it really that's irking the arch rivals in Karnataka? Is the defectors gallery weighing heavy on the BJP that even a slip by the Congress has the bigwigs of the BJP baying for their blood by making it an issue of national hate? Something, might I add, that the Congress has never been able to replicate and capitalize upon. So why go into the ring is what I'm asking, unprepared and almost never being ready for the retaliatory punches? And more importantly, is this resorting to personal attacks not laying bare the desperation of either for votes? We will, of course, be taking all of those questions from our guests in just a bit. But first, let's get you a timeline of all that has been happening in battleground Karnataka. Now, election tensions are mounting in Karnataka with leaders from the BJP and the Congress trading barbs and filing complaints against one another, and we will be giving you a graphic representation of what exactly has happened. Now, it all started with Union Home Minister Amit Shah while addressing a public meeting on Tuesday in Belagavi district, where the Home Minister said, and I'm quoting from his statements, "If the Congress comes to power, dynastic politics will be at an all-time high and Karnataka will be afflicted with riots," unquote. The comments ruffled feathers, obviously, and Randeep Singh Surjewala and also DK Shivakumar were seen filing a police complaint in Bengaluru against Amit Shah for allegedly making hateful and provocative statements. Then very recently, Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge called Prime Minister Modi a poisonous snake. In response, the BJP filed a complaint with the Election Commission of India demanding that Kharge be stopped from campaigning in Karnataka, and also an FIR is supposed to be registered against him. At least that is what is the claim that the BJP is making. Now today, BJP leader Basangauda Patil Yatnal slammed Sonia Gandhi and ended up calling her a Vish Kanya. Congress, needless to say, has launched an all-out attack on the BJP leader and sought action against Yatnal for his alleged abhorrent conduct. The Congress also is likely to reach out to the Election Commission of India over these comments that have been made by the BJP leader. So the big question that we are asking, as politics of poison or poison politics peaks in Karnataka, who's desperate for votes? Or is it really a street fight between the BJP and the Congress in the state?
ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಮೋದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಿಷದ ಹಾವಿದ್ದಂಗೆ. ನೀವಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ವಿಷ ಅದ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ನೆಕ್ಕಕ್ ಹೋಗಿರಿ.
ಸೋನಿಯಾ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಏನು ವಿಷಕನ್ನೇ ನಂಗಾದ್ರ ಈ ದೇಶ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡೋಣಂತ ಚೀನಾ ಮತ್ತು ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಏಜೆಂಟರಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಸೋನಿಯಾ गांधी
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता उसे विष कन्या कह रहे हैं, ये घोर निंदनीय है।
एक कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष खड़गे जी उनको कहते हैं कि विषैला सांप जैसे।
Let me now introduce my guests for the evening, Tom Vadakan of the BJP, Sujata Paul of the Congress Party, Imran Pasha of the JDS and Arun Anand, who's the consulting editor of First Post. All of them are joining the broadcast this evening. Let me begin with Sujata Paul of the Congress Party. Sujata, why doesn't the Congress learn from its mistakes? Something that the party has always been accused by the BJP of doing, and strangely, they have never been able to spring back up from what they have done as part of their actions or spoken the words that they have been spoken, they have spoken against the BJP or in turn the Prime Minister.
The Congress Party never indulged in this kind of politics. It is the BJP which has always been known for doing this, and the Prime Minister is the biggest culprit. Who called
Why do you say
Sonia
that?
Gandhi Charsi Kai?
Okay.
Who called Congress ki Vidwa and hybrid Bachada? Whose words are these? And of course, how can you forget the 50 crore ki girlfriend? This is the language of the Bharatiya Janata Party's prime leader, Mr. Narendra Modi. But when he attacks Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, he is attacking the wife of a martyred Prime Minister of India. He is attacking a lady. But he will not understand that, because respecting women is something that the Bharatiya Janata Party does not know how to do, and we know from the wrestlers who are sitting today, accusing the Bharatiya Janata Party leader of
No, Ms. Paul, my question to you is, and in turn the Congress Party, is that why is the Congress taking a leaf then out of BJP's book? Something that you're accusing the BJP of doing, why indulge in the same act?
Where has the Congress Party done anything? Where, as far as the BJP is concerned, they have a habit of everything out of proportion.
Sujata, we are talking about the recent controversy that has been brewing because of the statement that's been made by Mallikarjun Kharge, and this is close on the lines of him calling Prime Minister Narendra Modi as Ravana, and this time he's called him a poisonous snake, and there is no retracting from the statement because it has been made in ample public and media glare. I'll also request my producers to first fix your audio link because your audio is not very clear. Meanwhile, let me actually bring in Mr. Tom Vadakan on the debate first. Mr. Vadakan, the allegations that were made by the Congress spokesperson, your response to that, sir?
Well, it's strange. I mean, she doesn't seem to have heard those statements and is waiting for your tape to replay it, be what it may. But what is strange is at one point they say they've apologized to everybody who is affected. And here's the I don't know whether she's spokesman or representing Congress, whatever her capacity is. She comes and is full of venom. I mean, we are talking about Karnataka elections. She will bring 1947, you said this and you said that. Now, the point here is, he's the Prime Minister of this country.
Is he talking? See, this is what
Sujata,
I meant.
let him make a point. Let him make his point. Let him make his point.
No, he's...
Sujata, please.
Her space. I'm not competing
I
for her
never
space.
said what he said.
She had
So
been
what is he
making
trying to say?
speeches. It's fine. If she is not quite, I'll withdraw.
Yes, Mr. Vadakan, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
I know you're
this is the
scared.
Prime Minister of the country, and during a campaign, you call him a snake, and then next day you come
Nobody
in
called him a snake. Don't speak like that.
Sujata, I'd request you to please let him make a point and then you can make your counter allegation. Please.
And he clarifies that, well, if anybody is affected by what he says, he was referring only to the ideology. Look, let me bring another parallel to your information. They accused the RSS of assassinating Gandhi. When the case went to court and when there's a defamation case, they gave the same argument. We were talking about the ideology. This is standard operating practice. Before they make these accusations or these gutter-like politics that they talk about, they have a counter line of argument prepared. that in case something like this comes, we have this apology ready.
Okay.
So, I
Okay.
mean, for us...
Let me bring Sujata back. Let me bring Sujata back, Mr. Varadkar. Sujata, if you can see our graphics, we are just putting out these statements that have been made by both the Congress Party and the BJP. But unfortunately, when it is about the Congress Party, it has by default always backfired. I don't know how is the BJP planning and how is the BJP been able to defend the arguments that it has made in the past. Or probably it's the Congress not launching a good enough tirade against those statements. BJP has done that against the Congress Party because by default it has always backfired. Why make the statements then in that case?
The Congress Party is a party which ensured that India got freedom. And Bharatiya Janata Party and its MLA, Basana Gowda Patil, is a hate monger just like the rest of them. And they have a habit of showing how poor they are, how they are being maligned, how they are being derogated, when it is actually the other way around. This is not the kind of politics that the Congress Party would ever play. Now, has Mr. Amit Shah or Mr. Narendra Modi said a word about what Patil has said? How dare he accuse anybody of, using words like Vishkanya? And he's talking about our former president. How would he feel if this was done to the Prime Minister or Mr. J.P. Nadda or one of the former...
Yes, point taken. Tom Varadkar, would you like to respond to this? It's not just about a woman, but also a former president of the Congress Party. Why is that respect lacking that you're demanding should be shown to the Prime Minister of the country?
I think the question she has raised is nobody has apologized. My understanding of the whole matter is the highest level there has been an apology saying that, well, we regret that statement and it has been done already. Tell her to do her homework before making statements in
No,
public.
I didn't say that.
You better do your homework before coming on television.
Is there an action? Is there an action that the party is planning on taking, Mr. Varadkar?
You don't study
This is
the
the
issue.
problem.
You come here and keep yapping.
No. Mr. Varadkar, I would
Look
please
at it
request
that way.
both
This
of
is
you,
the language
please
that the Prime
refrain
Minister
from
uses.
making personal attacks, at least here. Please don't do that. I would also want an explanation from you, Mr. Varadkar. This entire point about Mr. Yatnal that Sujata is raising, has the BJP planned on taking any action against Mr. Yatnal?
Action in this party is always taken. Rest
What is the
assured,
action?
it is not like the Congress Party. You will find action taken and investigation will be followed. The natural process is followed. Now, there is one thing which one must realize. When you call the Prime Minister of this country a snake or whatever that dirty language he used, there is bound to be reaction because he is Prime Minister
So
of
are you
this country
justifying it?
is an anti-venom.
No, are you justifying
He is
it?
the person
Mr.
who is
Varadkar,
saving
I'm
us from
confused
these
here.
poisonous
Are you
snakes.
justifying what was said by Mr. Yatnal, calling the former Congress president of Vishkanya, an agent of Pakistan and China? Is that justified?
Watch my words. Watch my words. I'm carefully brief. This is
You're
a
saying it's
reaction
bound
that will
to
come
bring in
from
this
any
kind of a
Indian.
reaction.
I'm not justifying anything.
But he holds a
I'm not
position with the
justifying it's
BJP.
correct or not. If you insult the Prime Minister, the man in the street, forget the BJP, the man in the street will stand up
Are you
and
trying to say
give it
that
back.
the Prime Minister
As far as the
had
BJP is
ensured
concerned,
that
as far as the
Yatnal
BJP
would
is
say this?
concerned, we
This is what he
regret
said.
that
Okay,
remark.
let me bring in Mr. Imran Pasha of the JDS, Mr. Tom Varadkar and Sujata. Sujata, let me bring in the member of the JDS who's with us on the broadcast. Imran, where do you see the politics that is currently being played out in Karnataka go? Which way is the discourse really going down to? Personal attacks? Where are the real issues? Why are they not talking about real issues? Why go after one statement that's been made by a political party or a political leader and just make it into a huge tirade? Because in this case, the BJP has reached not just the State Election Commission, but also the Election Commission of India, asking an FIR to be registered against Mr. Kharge and also that he be barred from campaigning in Karnataka. Where do you see this going?
Hi, Priya. So what I want to say here is the national party, they call themselves as a national BJP and the Congress, and they don't have a ethics, what needs to be communicated to the people, what needs to be campaigned during the election. Okay, they don't have a concern about the Karnataka people. They don't want to work for the people. They don't have a official actual manifesto how what needs to be done in future once they come up in the government, if they form the government, and what they have done. Always pointing it to each other, always pointing it to each other. This is what happening in all over India. So being a Karnataka, being from Karnataka, I want my Karnataka issues to be highlighted. Okay. So I don't want any person or any particular person needs to be telling anything about any other leader. They need to come up with concerns. They need to come up with the election related activity, not like they might have the personal thought about someone. They need to keep it to
So
themselves.
do you
And
think
here
this
I
this
want to
street
comment on the
fight
election
and this
commission
dog
also.
fight between the BJP and Congress, do you think this is going to end up benefiting the JDS in the state in any which way?
Definitely, people of Karnataka, the 6.5 crores people of Karnataka are seeing their activity, what they are doing, what they are behaving. They don't have a mutual respect for a veteran politician, each other, what they will respect to the people, common people. You really think they will respect and they will have a concern for the people and they will come out for the issues what people are facing? This is not a single case what is happening here. Yesterday I was in another debate, the regional debate. In that also one of the politicians from the BJP, that he is actually aspirant. He himself he called his associate that if someone from other party come, then you can hit back to them and send them out. Like that, these comments are not acceptable. We are into a democracy. You have a right to contest the election. Everyone have the right. Come up with your good and honest whatever you have in you. Don't show how you come up till now and how you want to lead the nation.
Okay. Arun, let me bring you in here. Arun, why do you think this is happening? Why do you think the discourse has gone down to this level? Do you think there is desperation on part of both the Congress and the BJP that they've resorted to these personal attacks against one another? Do you think that is the reason? Or do you think because of so much of conjecture, so much of jumping ship, skipping and hopping that's happening within the party, that has got and landed both the parties so insecure of winning the elections?
No, I think it's part of a larger problem. Over a period of time, the level of discourse has really gone down in Indian politics, and all the political parties have to share. Some political parties probably have to share more blame than the others. But largely, this thing has been creeping into all the political parties. And one of the key reasons for this is that earlier, what used to happen till late 60s or early 70s. There never used to be the parachute entries of people. There used to be cadres who used to be trained under different programs, and then over a period of time they would come up, and then first they will contest the municipal elections, then they will contest the assembly elections. So there was a particular training program for all the members of the party. But now that thing has gone haywire, and also with the advent of social media, we see it's the amplification of statements. Some of such statements were always made, even if you look at the parliamentary debate in 1951 about the First Amendment, there you have Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru saying that journalists are basically scoundrels. He's using that kind of language. I'm not accusing him of this thing. So these things are always there, but now because of social media also and because of the boom in media also, there's a lot of amplification of this thing. But I think there's a note of caution which is required. All the political parties need to do some introspection. I think Congress has a major problem in a sense that, because the party top leadership, Rahul Gandhi himself is embroiled in so many defamation cases. So it seems that culture is creeping down to the cadres that they can, or other leaders that they can, because nobody.
But Arun, can we really say that? I really want to understand this one thing. There are so many senior leaders in both the Congress party and the BJP, and we've seen controversial statements ahead of the elections in Karnataka that have been made by members of the BJP as have been done by members of the Congress party. In the recent case, you've had the person who's now hung his boots in politics, Mr. Ishwarappa, go ahead and make a controversial statement that the BJP had to distance itself from, claiming that they do not need Muslim votes in Karnataka. These statements cannot be termed as standalone. Of course, there's an ideology behind all of that, and that's why there is some sort of backing because of which these leaders go on the stage, make statements, whether it is cash for votes, open call for, we'll be paying you money if you actually give us votes, and all of that has been done by the BJP members also, and that cannot be negated.
No, I agree with you to some extent, but I also disagree in the sense that there's no ideology behind it. There are motor mouths in every party.
Okay.
And if you remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when the Parliament session was on, and at on several occasions, he has told his party leaders basically to be careful when you speak, and especially when you are a ruling party, you need to be actually more responsible. Because but there is a desperation in opposition. Now there is, this Newton's law that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, but that's very unfortunate. And this generally indicates the quality of people which we are getting in, Indian politics. I think that's a larger question which every political party has to grapple with. And overall, as citizens of this country also, we need to look at this very carefully and elect only those people probably, who are not motor mouths and I think, who are more balanced.
Okay. All right. Let me bring Sujata back. Sujata, you wanted to make a point, but I also wanted to add to what Arun has just said. मोटर माउथ्स और भावनाओं में बह के रैली में उस पर्टिकुलर इंस्टेंस पे कोई शब्द कह जाना and then try to backtrack from it, that's been happening across party lines, not just the Congress party. But my question to you is that why is the Congress party so slow in taking any action? In this case, what has happened with Mr. Mallikarjun's comments, BJP has been seen going to not just the State Election Commission, they have gone to the ECI, asked for an FIR, asked for a ban on campaigning by Mr. Kharge. What is the Congress party doing about Mr. Yatnal's comments?
No, as far as Congress party is concerned, we take action and we take timely action. But the Bharatiya Janata Party and the chiller troll chief, Mr. Amit Madhya.
No, but your timely action is not timely enough.
No.
Don't you think Rahul Gandhi's defamation suit is something to do with that? BJP was quick to actually go ahead, rally behind what was said in that election rally in Kolar in Karnataka, and that's why Rahul is being slapped with this defamation suit. If you're talking about these many statements that have been made by members of the BJP against senior leadership of the Congress party, why has there never been an action that's been sought by the Congress against it?
When you fight politically, you should make sure that you're not a motor mouth. And the biggest motor mouth in the BJP is the Prime Minister. And if the entire system is going to work in this manner, then what do you do about it? You keep going filing cases against him. Of course, we are taking action. There's no doubt about that. But when you talk about this problem, why is there a problem? Because we are talking about the real issues. We have brought to the fore the corruption of this PCM government. We have brought to the fore how 40% Karnataka government is going to be out soon, and they will be reduced to less than 40. But when we are coming with various schemes, the Bharatiya Janata Party does not know what to do because they have no answers to the corruption that they have indulged in the last 3.5 years, and they have no answers to the schemes that we are coming up with if we come into power, which is certain. And that is the reason why they indulge in this kind of thing. Of course, action has been taken. Of course, we have made complaints. You look at how Mr. J.P. Nadda said that, people of Karnataka will be left without the Ashirwad of the Prime Minister. No, it is the people of this country who give Ashirwad to put you into, government. It is the people of Karnataka who were threatened by no less than the Home Minister of this country. So this is the kind of politics they indulge in because they have nothing to offer. And that is why they do this kind of politics.
Okay. At least we're now talking about issues that actually dominate the politics in Karnataka. Mr. Vadakan, you want to come in here. I also want to add to what Ms. Sujata Paul was just mentioning. This comment that was made by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, talking about how there are going to be riots in the state of Karnataka if at all the Congress party goes ahead and comes into power. Is that a threat? Why make a statement like this? Is that befitting of a tall leader like Mr. Amit Shah?
I like to take these questions on two levels.
Yes.
I heard Sujata Paul calling our Prime Minister a motor mouth. I'm unfortunate if you put this out to vote of among these four panelists, who is a motor mouth and who represents which party will be established. And I seriously take the view that she can invite defamation for calling him a motor mouth. And the Prime Minister of this country, he selects its words. His speeches are all heard. He's not a motor mouth. He means what he says. He does what he says. And if you call him a motor mouth, I'm sorry, you're opening up yourself for defamation. Watch out. Now,
50
second
crore ki
question
girlfriend.
on what Amit Shah ji said.
Hybrid
What did he
bachna.
say? What did he say? What did Amit Shah
Congress ki
ji say?
vidwa.
He said,
Well,
Sujata, you also have the open option of filing a defamation suit, which the Congress party has been slow and not doing. That's what the point that I was also trying to make. But yeah, this point about Mr. Amit Shah, please go ahead and respond to that. Yes, please, Mr. Vadakkar.
Mr. Amit Shah is one person who has intelligence input from across the country. It is the Sitaramaya government that let loose the PFI from jail. This is a known incident. And if they are further allowed to go about their daily, the PFI and other anti-national elements, which is a connect which the Congress party has been doing on record, which is an intelligence report the Home Minister has. And if he says something, he means it. He is warned the people of Karnataka.
You are going to ensure that there are riots in Karnataka. This is what the BJP is saying.
No, Mr. Vadakkar, Sujata, one second. Mr. Vadakkar, when we talk about decorum in discourse,
I think on a medicine. Please consult your doctor.
No.
Before you.
No. Please don't make personal comments, Mr. Vadakkar. I just wanted to understand when there is a conversation around decorum in discourse, and if the country's home minister goes ahead and almost in the form of a threat makes a statement that there is going to be riots in Karnataka, BJP can go about justifying the statement for whatever it may call it. But it is in a public rally.
How do you take it as a threat? Can't it be an advisory?
How is anyone supposed to be taking it as an advisory is my question is what happens to education in Karnataka? Anything has gone down, has become...
That's an advisory. I didn't say I'm going to take it up.
That's an advisory?
Okay.
Can I come in, Priya?
Yes. Final point. Sujata, please. I am very short on time.
What Tom Vadakkar is saying is that the Home Minister was giving an advisory to the people because he had input. That means he was going there as the Home Minister and not as a campaigner for the BJP from the BJP party.
What is this woman saying?
Mr. Vadakkar, final points, please.
Does she know what she's talking about?
Are you trying to accuse the Congress party?
Okay, unfortunately, we haven't been able to come to a consensus when it comes to decorum in discourse that we're talking about in this elections in Karnataka. I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me on the broadcast. That's all the time that I had on this particular debate. It is up for actually conjecture on how low can the discourse really be, even if it is at the cost of sparring with your political adversary. I'll leave that question for the audiences to answer.